round of performance evaluations, 10 teams have made it to the final stage. By region, there are 6 teams from Busan, 2 from Chungcheong, and 1 each from Seoul and Daegu.
끝으로 날씨입니다. 부산 지방 오늘 밤에도 곳곳에 따라 소나기 내리는 곳 있겠습니다. 내일 아침 최저기온 20도, 낮 최고 기온 27도로 예상됩니다. 부산의 현재 기온 22도입니다.
Rain will fall in parts around Busan tonight. Morning temperatures will average 20 degrees Celsius with afternoon highs expected to reach 27 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are currently averaging at 22 degrees Celsius. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. I'm Annie Mun.
우정화였습니다.
Thank you for joining. You are listening to BEFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Hello. Welcome to Thursday. Question for you. Do you have any of these 미루는 습관 or procrastination habits? Now, procrastination is a trap. Stop! It's a trap that so many of us fall into.
It's a trap, right? According to research, 95% of us procrastinate to some degree. You could pretty much round that up to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Also, did you know procrastination is bad for your health as well as for your money, according to a study?
Because even minor episodes of procrastination can make us feel guilty, make us feel ashamed, which can lead us to, missing out on achieving our goals.
맞아요. So the next time you want to procrastinate, right, to just give it to future self, just remember the famous advice. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today.
Yeah.
Words to live by, I guess.
Words to live by, maybe. Or start tomorrow. Diet starts tomorrow.
항상 내일부터죠,
항상
다이어트는요.
내일부터.
네, 괜찮습니다.
I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, tell you what is starting right now. Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McLucky.
And I'm Minsu Shin.
Jaded. You got your mama style. jaded you. Hey, don't you jaded? In all its misery, it will always be what I love and hate it. And maybe take a ride to the other side we're thinking of. We'll slip into the velvet club and be jaded. My baby blue. Yeah, I'm thinking about you. My baby blue. Yeah, I'm so jaded. Baby, I'm afraid of you. You're thinking so complicated. I've had it all up to here, but it's so overrated. Love and hate it, wouldn't trade it. Love me jaded. There ain't no baby breeze when I'm shooting the breeze with her. When everything you see is a blur, and ecstasy's what you prefer. My baby blue. I'm talking about you. My baby blue. Yeah, I've been thinking about you. My baby blue. Yeah, you're so jaded. Jaded. You're so jaded. 'Cause I'm the one that jaded you.
Welcome back, everybody. Jaded by Aerosmith. Gotta love that.
My favorite Aerosmith number.
Really?
That's why I was in the cue sheet today.
That's right. You're in charge.
I am in charge of the music pickings, but everything else.
Of the
You are in
music
charge, listeners, because
pickings.
we are here for you.
I thought you meant me.
You're like, oh,
I'm in charge.
that too.
No, I'm
Just
not
a
in
little
charge.
bit.
I'm not in charge.
Nobody's
I'm
in
just
charge
chilling
here.
out. I'm just enjoying life, you know?
What a great mindset to have.
Yeah.
Right? Never in charge of anything, just enjoying life.
Yeah.
I envy you.
You should envy me.
Well, listeners, thank you so much for joining us. We are all envious of one another, right? That's just how the world spins,
That's the way it is.
right?
Grass is always greener.
It is, right? And it might be that thought that kind of like discourages us from doing things that we need to do,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I'll never be as good as such and such. I'll never
Right.
be able to do such and such. And we procrastinate.
So we say, why bother, right? And then we procrastinate.
Yeah.
But is this the road that you want to continue to wind down towards?
No, we don't want to procrastinate. Even though I say we don't want to procrastinate, I love to procrastinate. And then I chalk it up to self-care. I'm like, I'm
mean
not
like-
going to do this right now because I need to rest.
Uh-huh.
Self-care, man. Self-care. And so 50% of that is actually true. And then 50% I'm just like, really, you just don't want to do this.
50% that much
Yeah.
is true?
Yeah. Because it's true. You know, if I've got to do a paper, most likely I've got to do it after broadcasting. So I've got to go home, put the kids to bed, and then start the paper at like 9:30, 9:45. So if I'm feeling tired,
I guess.
You know?
Yeah. So, like, valid procrastination, is that what you're trying to get at?
Maybe it's not procrastination. Maybe it's prioritization of other things.
Sure.
Yeah.
AKA procrastination.
AKA procrastination. Yes. But have you ever thought about, I mean, everybody out there, have you ever thought of something and thought, 나중에 할게. I'll do it later. 나중에 할게.
네.
So you might want to be careful about how often we do that, though, because according to studies, and a recent study specifically, putting things off all the time might not be good for your time, your money, your mental health, etc.
Yeah. So students who have higher procrastination, I guess, rates or scores, according to a survey, were found to have higher levels of things like depression, stress, and anxiety. Students who procrastinated more also said they didn't sleep as well and had more money issues. And they also said they felt more lonely.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other underlying reasons for this, but one common denominator is they tend to procrastinate a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask, is procrastination the same as being lazy? And it is confused with laziness all the time, but they're very, very different. So if you're a procrastinator, it does not mean that you're lazy.
Yeah, so okay, let me lay the groundworks, all right? So if you have anybody calling you lazy because you procrastinate, you could tell them this. Procrastination, it's an active process. You choose to do something else instead of that task that you know you should be doing in favor of the one that is more enjoyable or easier, right?
Yeah.
So in contrast, laziness, this suggests things like apathy, inactivity, and an unwillingness to act.
Yeah.
So big difference.
Yeah.
All right?
Big difference.
Yeah, so if you find yourself, I don't know, like, you got people that nag at you. Oh, why are you so lazy? Why do you always put stuff off? That's not laziness. That's procrastination, baby.
Exactly. It's a different thing. And it's a protection mechanism as well.
Sure.
you
It's
know?
a defense mechanism, yeah.
What is your habit of procrastination? Do you procrastinate? And what do you procrastinate upon?
저는요, 빨래를 많이 미뤄요.
아, 진짜?
저 빨래 담당이거든요, 집에. 근데 빨래 세탁기에 놓고 세탁기에서 빼고 그다음에 건조기에 놓고 건조기에서 빼는 것까지는 I'm very 부지런해. I'm very diligent when it comes to that. But folding it, 너무 귀찮아.
Don't fold it. Just throw it in the corner. Done.
막 구겨지고 막. If you put it on, like you look like, I don't know. Sometimes like some brands they go for that look, right? That
Yeah.
very wrinkly look.
Yeah.
But you could tell like, oh, you should fold your clothes.
맞아요.
What about you? What do you choose to procrastinate?
Most things, anything that has a deadline, I will procrastinate up until the day of the deadline because it's like I do not spring into action
Yeah.
on things like papers. So I've got a paper that's due on the 18th. I won't start it until the 17th. Maybe on the 18th morning.
They just shouldn't give you a deadline.
Exactly.
아 근데 안
And then I'll
주면
never
그냥
do it.
아예 안 할 것 같은데.
That's exactly what's happened. Just do
Laura.
this, just prepare this. I'm like, sure.
좀
By
문제가 있긴 있다.
문제 있어요.
So listeners, yeah.
여러분도
네. What do you procrastinate?
잘
with?
미루는 일이 무엇인가요?
집안일입니까? House chores?
집안이요.
숙제입니까?
숙제.
Homework?
난 숙제.
Or 책상 정리. 저도 이거 진짜 잘 안 해요.
Oh, I love that.
항상
I love
미뤄요.
cleaning.
Right? Cleaning up the desk. Yeah, some people love it. Some people just want to push it back.
맞아요.
여러분은 어떤 것을 procrastinate 합니까? Let us know. pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 101 or you can let us know on our Kakao Talk or hello to everybody on our YouTubes. Hi, you can join us there as well, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for News Bites. We've been procrastinating.
맞아요.
Oh
너무
my
미루고
goodness.
있었어요.
맞아요. Yes, Annie's in the studio. Let's get straight into it, Annie. How are you? How's life? It's a Thursday, etc., etc.
It's good.
Good.
아주 힘든 it's good 였다.
I'm so excited for Friday.
Good.
맞아요.
Me
Looking
too.
forward to it, right?
Yeah.
Annie, do you procrastinate
So
anything?
much. I'm in a vicious cycle of procrastination and anxiety.
Oh.
I have so much anxiety that I end up procrastinating, and then I get anxiety from procrastination. And
procrastinating?
it just kind of like bites each other. And
You just keep digging that hole deeper and deeper, right?
Yeah.
But I still get things done.
Yeah.
I just struggle by myself. And then
I know what you mean, right? It's something that everybody goes through, I think. But it feels so good once you finally
yeah,
get through that thing.
it's a terrible habit though.
Yeah.
Do that 2-minute rule. Do something for 2 minutes and then stop.
I see. I
2
tried
minutes
all
is
of
easy.
these. Like I tried the Pomodoro method and everything. In my brain, I'm like, this is a joke. I'm not gonna do it
can't
right
trick
now.
your brain.
No,
It's that brain of yours. You got to shut it down when you're
I'm too
doing
smart.
stuff, right? Yeah. Too smart for your own good. All right, well, thank you so much for sharing. Let's get to it. Today's News Bites. What do you got?
Right. So there's not much of an update, a little bit of an update on the Fukushima release. So starting today, the government will be holding daily press briefings to update the public on everything that is going on with the planned Fukushima nuclear wastewater release. So Park Gu-yeon, who is the first deputy chief of the Office for Government Policy Coordination, explained that the trials, I believe I talked about them on here, are basically to check over several components, but not the entire discharge equipment. They also addressed a recent report that more than 20,000 times the international standard of strontium, which is a radioactive substance, was detected in the water even after the ALPS, which is the purification system that they're using, after the treatment there. And although the officials did say that this was somewhat true, they further explained that the water will be run through the ALPS system until it meets the international standard. So it's not just a one run through and just release.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty detailed briefing, I think, made
Yeah.
available to the public, right? For, the first meeting of this kind anyway. Was there anything else that was covered?
Yes, another notable topic was that they did not see tritium or 삼중수소, which is this naturally generated substance in the atmosphere. It's actually the only material that the ALPS system cannot remove, but they didn't see the levels found in the wastewater as a threat to our health. It's essentially a smaller amount than we are exposed to in the average medical X-ray machine. Bach also added that releasing into water is a better option than into the air because they're able to continuously monitor various levels of various chemicals, whereas anything in the atmosphere or the air is actually really difficult to control. So yeah, they were just clearing up some facts here and there.
Yeah. So a lot of information put out for the first briefing and probably a lot to come.
Daily.
Right? Daily briefings, actually.
I will not be bringing them daily.
Yeah, not daily, but any big changes or big
Yes.
announcement that they have, I'm sure you'll be filling us in, right? Well, thank you so much for that. What else?
Right. The Supreme Court has ruled on labor strikes. Trial, I should say. The Supreme Court ruled that when individual workers who participated in illegal strikes are held responsible for damages caused by production disruptions, that they should be considered individually according to the degree or level of illegal activities. So this ruling was actually the result of a damages suit that was filed by Hyundai Motors against 29 participants in a temporary workers' strike at a factory in Ulsan. That's back in November and December of 2010. So they had sought 2 billion won for production disruption, but later withdrew the suit against 25 of the participants and only went against the remaining 4. So yeah.
Okay. So where did this ruling come about?
Right. So this, as I said, was in 2010. A lot of time has passed,
Yeah.
but a district court and also the Busan High Court, who initially sought this trial, had ruled in favor of the company and had the defendants pay 2 billion won to them. However, just today, the Supreme Court sent the case back to the Busan High Court for retrial. So they pointed out the fact that each participant, that's the 4, had a different level of involvement in terms of decision-making as well as execution of the strike. So they added that the nature of unions, it's difficult for just one person to go against the union as a whole. So depending on their position within the union, they should be trialed accordingly.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know much about the labor laws here in Korea, but
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult for people to not get passionate about this kind of stuff, not get
Right.
involved in this kind of stuff.
And that's got to be super tricky, right? Because like you said,
Definitely.
it's a union,
Yeah.
but then to put more responsibility for certain actions on certain people.
Yeah, on the individual.
Yeah.
They have to prove what position they held during the strikes, which is
Yeah.
back in 2010, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they have evidence.
That's got to be tricky, right? Well, keep us updated on that. Thank you so much. Let's move on to our last bit of news.
Right, so President Yoon has weighed on 수능 questions amongst some other education issues. So President Yoon Suk-yeol today ordered officials to exclude content that is not covered in school classes from the CSATs or 수능. Speaking to the Minister of Education Lee Joo-ho, Yoon said to make the CSAT difficult enough to function as this assessment exam, but make the questions so that you can actually solve them if you only pay attention and work hard during class. He added that in the face of the recent increase in private education costs, which you guys are facing soon, the government should strongly push for measures to reduce private education costs, focus more on school.
Yeah. right? And I guess this is one way to go about doing it so that kids pay more attention to the curriculum and what's being taught at schools other than relying on private education.
Right.
Because what's coming out in schools is what's going to come out on the CSATs.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does this mean that the measures then are going to reduce private education?
Right. The education minister just said that they are in the process of preparing an announcement regarding the reduction of private education costs. And he also accepted this order from the president. He added that the president was only pointing out this long-time problem that wasn't being properly addressed. And during this meeting, they also discussed university reform. In particular, the president talked about allowing students to study what they want, and also unifying infant care, or 영유아 돌봄.
Yeah. So the education gap is something that's very real here in Korea, especially very evident, I think, here in the
Right.
city of Busan, right?
And a big reason for that is private education costs.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully measures like this continue to, come out and expand. We want every student to have equal opportunity, I think, right? Although it might be very hard to achieve in reality, still just the idea should be
Yeah.
instilled, right?
Absolutely. I love that. I really love that.
All right, well, Annie, thank you so much. That'll do it for today's News Bites. Enjoy the rest of your night, rest, and get ready for tomorrow.
I got classes to teach, but yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
어떡해.
Yay! Private education. I'm so sorry.
Aw. Annie, thank you. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, yes. Now, if you can tell me what they're saying after intergalactic blarning, then please text us in. But this is the Beastie Boys, Intergalactic.
Well, now, don't you tell me to smile. You stick around and make it what you want. But no one's beyond what you can tell. Maybe it's because I'm so versatile. Style, profile. I said it always brings me back when I hear ooh child. From the hunter never have to the now. I run the marathon to the very last mile. Well, if you battle me, I will provide. People always say my style is wild. You've got call, you've got gal. Step to me, I'm a rap profile. If you wanna battle, you're in tonight. Coming from your haters to check my style. Go ahead, put my rhymes out, child. Cast you off into exile. Jazz and A-Wall, that's our team. Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene. When it comes to beats, well, I'm a fiend. I like my sugar with coffee and cream. Well, I gotta keep it going full steam. Too sweet to be sour, too nice to be me. When on the top guy style, I'm not too keen. Try to change the world, I'm a plotting scheme. Mario C likes to keep it clean. Wanna shine like gay so deep. Fun rapping, cause that's my dream. More deep for sticking to me. Now when it comes to envy, all is green. Jealous of the rhyme and the rhyme routine. Another dimension, new galaxy. Intergalactic planetary. From the family to your old school hip hop. You thought the shoes and relaxing socks. The rise is spread just like a box. If the music is loud, they can electric shock. I am known to do the wop. So known for the Flintstone flop. Tammy D getting biz on the crop. Beatsy boys known to let the beat drop. Now when I make a CD, my name was Slop. If I rap, shoot my beats and stop. Step from the table when I start to chop. I'm a Jack DJ era. If you try to knock me, you'll get mocked. I'll stir fry you in my wok. You need to start shaking and your fingers pop. Like a pinch on the neck of Mr. Spock.
Oh, gotta love the Beastie Boys.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Is that what they say?
I've never looked at the.
Blarlic.
I'm pretty sure it's planetary. And
Planet.
you said, because I didn't know that you said it's another dimension, right? I didn't know those lyrics to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Another dimension.
저는 그거 뭔지 몰랐어요. Now I know, right?
But I don't know the intergalactic blarlic.
It's planetary, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Trust me, all
Oh,
right?
that's the internet. Welcome back to Inside Out Busan.
Hi, everybody.
6:31 on the clock. I'm Laura McClucky.
And I'm Min Soo Shin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, let's look at the weather. It's currently averaging 23 degrees Celsius here in Busan. Morning lows of 20, afternoon highs of 28. Did you hear there was passing rains and thunderstorm this afternoon?
I heard them last night.
I didn't.
I heard them late last night. And it was a lot of rain, actually.
Really?
번개도 치고 했어요.
I didn't hear any of it. Anyway, tons of sunshine will be in effect for much of Busan from tomorrow. UV rays will be high to very high. And yeah, that's it. Get ready for the heat, get ready for the mugginess, and then get ready for the rains. Starting.
Was it just me today? Did it we didn't have the AC on or anything, and I opened the windows at home. My feet were cold. Was it just me?
Just you that had cold feet?
I don't know, but it was like this cold breeze coming in for some reason.
시원하네?
시원했어요. 어느 정도 시원했냐면, like my toes were like a little
bit.
like cold, nippy.
A little bit. Did you have flip flops on?
No, I was at home. Right?
I tell you what.
그래서 날씨가 조금 이상하네.
맞아요,
But
여러분.
tomorrow, lots of sunshine.
맞아요. 내일은 동일 맑겠구나. 그래서 맑겠는데 it's going to get warm and sunny and all that stuff.
네.
근데 낮부터는 기온이 크게 올라토겠습니다.
네. Thank you so much.
조심하세요.
조심하세요. On to our traffic congestion on Byeonglo from Munyeon Interchange going towards Gwangan Tunnel. Also on Mandokdaero from Deokcheon Junction going towards Sukdeung Junction.
네,
And then we have slow moving traffic on Gobunlo from Yeonil Market going towards Yeonsan Junction. Everybody
Drive safe.
부탁드립니다.
All right. Now it's time for the IOB 5분 상식. Yes, time for the IOB 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most useful and trending and need-to-know words and expressions in the whole wide world. 5분만 들으시면 유식해지는 시간이죠.
맞습니다. 오늘의 5분 상식은요. 경제 용어인데요. 골디락스에 대해 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 나 있잖아. 요즘 미국 주식 때문에 잠도 못 자는 거 알지? Did you hear the US economy? It isn't hot or cold. Soft inflation print stirs hopes of these Goldilocks scenarios for the US markets.
Oh, great. That's good news, right? Is Goldilocks in the house?
Goldilocks? I don't know. What is that?
Hey, don't you know the fairy tale? Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
Goldilocks enters the cottage, looks around and spots 3 bowls of porridge on the table.
Oh, what a lovely cottage! I'm quite famished.
Goldilocks tastes the porridge from the first bowl.
Oh dear, this porridge is too hot for my liking.
She moves to the second bowl.
Oh my, this porridge is too cold. I can't possibly eat this.
And finally, she tries the third bowl.
Ah, this porridge is just right. Perfectly warm and comforting. Just right. Not too hot and not too cold.
I'm a baby bear. Yak! Someone's been eating my porridge. 누가 먹었어? Oh my gosh. I'm Goldilocks.
Do you know who my inspiration was? Teddy Gillingham. Was it Teddy Gillingham in Life of Brian? He's a very naughty boy. He's not the Messiah.
This porridge is too cold.
It's very cold porridge.
Not the cute Goldilocks I was imagining in my head, right? So I was like, this little cute girl lost in the woods is stumbling into the Three Bears house. Oh, this porridge is too hot. 근데요, not that Goldilocks. When it comes to the economy, what does Goldilocks mean?
Okay, Goldilocks is an economy that's not too hot or not too cold, basically. In other words, it sustains moderate economic growth, it's got low inflation, and it gives a market-friendly monetary policy. So the name obviously comes from Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And it means the economy is in a stable state, steady growth rates, low interest rates, low unemployment. And in other words, it's just like the perfect bowl of porridge. Not too hot, not too cold.
Just right.
Just right. Yeah.
So this describes an ideal state for the economy, whereby the economy it's not expanding or contracting too much, right? It's like just in that right amount. Now, why is Goldilocks receiving significant attention then in the current U.S. economic market?
Well, in light of moderating economic data in the U.S., some economists said we could be headed towards a Goldilocks economy, or we might even be in one already. So the Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged, which was widely expected, and U.S. stocks also rallied strongly last week. Investors cheered May's remarkable jobs reports. And at least, on the surface anyway, the economic backdrop certainly appears to have improved in recent months, with consumers in jobs and seeing improvements in real spending power. So it seems to be getting better.
Yeah. I like it when you said the investors cheered. I pictured like investors, right?
Yay!
Everybody in Wall Street, hip, hip, hooray! Hip,
Yeah, I bet they are.
Hey.
Lining their pockets.
네. Goldilocks economy, you have a growing economy and the purchasing power is stable, wages rising, and more goods and services available. So that's a good sign. We want a Goldilocks economy.
Yes, we do.
네. 오늘의 5분 상식이요. 경제에서 Goldilocks는요. 높은 성장을 이루고 있더라도 물가가 상승하지 않는 이상적인 경제 상황이며 뜨겁지도 않고 차갑지도 않고 최적의 상태를 의미하는 겁니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 괴종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 온 신참인 것 같네.
22번 홀림병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
The Insider X.
Yes, it's time for the Insider X. We've got HK in the studio, and we're going to get ready to find out all about what Busan is doing for us, the citizens.
Yes.
What mission are they doing?
The
James
Insider
Bond
X.
He's not James Bond.
007? HK님, 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요. Hello
Hi.
guys. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
How are you?
Very great because tomorrow is Friday.
Yes.
Just it makes me so happy. That's all.
Yeah. Everybody's looking towards the weekend already, right? Yeah. So thank you so much for coming in again for today's Insider X, the segment all about what's happening behind the curtains here in our city of Busan.
Yeah.
So shall we get right into today's story?
Oh, sure. 저는 부산에 사는 30대 청년입니다. 오피스텔을 계약하려고 하는데 아무래도 요즘 전세 사기 때문에 정말 걱정이 많아요. 전세 사기와 관련해 부산시에서 어떤 정책들을 추진하고 있는지 궁금합니다.
Your voice is so good.
Thank you.
I mean, it's nice when you speak English, but
Yeah.
when you speak Korean,
맞아요.
you're more in your natural state.
맞아요.
아주 편해요. 네. 좋습니다. So let's introduce today's, I guess, story a bit in English for our listeners.
Yeah, he's in his 30s and currently living in Busan. He will make a housing rental contract, but as you know, nowadays home rental scam is so severe problems in Korea. So
Yeah.
he worries about his contract. So he wonder what kind of policies should he implement to solve this problem.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried about this, especially younger people who maybe don't have that much
Yeah, right.
experience.
진짜 걱정돼요.
Yeah.
네.
So today I'm going to talk about housing rental scams in Korean 전세 사기, what it means, and what kind of policies they implement to support victims.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a serious concern because the scams that we've seen so far, it has led to the loss of lives,
Yeah.
right? So it is a
Right.
very serious problem nowadays here in Korea.
Yeah, that's the point. So compared to last week's topic, we talked about 7 beaches in Busan.
Yes.
Yeah, it was also important, but today's topic is really serious and directly connected with citizens' life.
네.
So before we get into what Busan is doing, HK, let's actually go over the issue for any of our listeners who maybe don't know what we're talking about.
Sure.
Let's talk about the issue first.
Firstly, for foreign listeners who is not that familiar to the concept of 전세, I'm going to briefly explain about the meaning of this system. 전세 is unique rental system which tenants give their landlord a large upfront deposit worth as much as 50 to 90% of the home's value instead of, paying monthly rent. So the landlord then earns interest of the deposit and returns the deposit at the end of the lease.
Yeah, so that's how 전세 works. And before I came to Korea, I had no idea they had like a housing rental system
Yeah.
like this. It's
Same.
very unique.
Yeah.
Only here in Korea that they have something like this, right?
Right. As you mentioned, the deposit is a key of this system and also this problem because landlords should return the deposit at the end of the lease. But in this case, they disappeared and didn't pay back their deposit.
Yeah. And it's such a good system, because you can save money and on rent and you can just pay if you
Yeah.
have a deposit. But then if these 사기
Yeah.
landlords, if these like criminal landlords take the deposit and go, that's a huge burden, huge financial burden. So what is the main problem of this 전세 scam?
Yeah, because as I already told you, they didn't pay back their deposit to the tenant. So the problem is so many cases in Korea. And also the damage of this one is so huge because most of tenants are social workers. So if they lose their deposits, then they don't have any method to buy a new one.
Yeah, because for a lot of people, the amount that they have to deposit with the 전세, it's like their whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's irreversible damage for these people. So I think solving this problem, and of course the city's role, is absolutely important when it comes to some of like the priority social issues that we have. Then, what are detailed plans by the city to solve this problem, HK?
Oh yeah, then I will introduce 4 policies to solve this 전세 scam. First one is establishing the support center and hotline for victims. City established the support center for victims in April of this year and also made task force team in May. In this support center, you can get counseling about your situation and receive detailed procedures of support from government. This center is located in Busan 진구, especially first floor of Busan Metropolitan Corporation, 부산 도시공사 1층에 있습니다.
네.
And you can call to 051-810-9980 or 9981-9982 at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. of every day.
Okay. And this is, of course, it's so serious. We keep saying it's such a serious problem, right? But this kind of support center and just having someone to talk to is hopefully going to allay these worries and, a way to lessen the burden of these victims.
맞아요. Especially for first-time home buyers or
Yeah.
like young, even like university students who have no experience when it comes to like buying a house or renting a house.
Yeah.
they panic when this kind of stuff happens. So it's really great that they provide services like this, and this could be the first step to overcome the 사기 issues that we're seeing. That's a good one. All right. So the service that's provided by Busan City. What's the second one?
Second one is providing public rent housing for victims. Among victims, if we already talked about, they will be urgent needs for new house. So in that case, government will rent public housing in a low rate, just 20 to 30% of market value. So you can live in this house for 6 months and extend it up to 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And also, Busan City will support you financially. First, City will support 400,000 won, 40만 원, in every month for 2 years as a rent of your new house. And also, you can get 1.5 million won, 150만 원, when you move to your new house as a cost of moving. So 이사비로 150만 원을 또 지원드립니다.
Wow.
Good.
That's awesome. It's like Busan City is kind of like, like your parents, like a 부모 같아요. 왜냐면 like as a kid, when you like get in trouble, like I don't know, like you lose money or stuff like that, you always have your parents to fall back on, right? And what do? They kind of like most parents, and they do want to, like if they can, they want to help you get back on your feet, right?
Yeah.
So very helpful to the victims. If we lose this huge deposit at once, even getting evicted, this is something that could once again put ourselves into a panic,
Yeah.
right? So it's important to secure them another house to live in. I feel like in Busan City is providing this.
I just moved house today.
Oh, 고생했습니다.
Oh, really?
That's why I look so tired and terrible.
그랬구나.
I'm super happy, but I've just been up like moving furniture all day.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's so much. It's such a big deal, and apparently they say there's like the biggest kind of stresses in your life. The first one is death of a family member or death, and the second one is moving house.
Oh.
And so for people who don't know what they're doing really, or people who don't have a huge amount of savings, etc.,
맞아요.
any kind of financial help is such a relief. I wish I had got 1.5 million won from moving.
Saying,
fee.
right? So for people in this type of situation, there's that support.
그렇죠.
Yeah. What's the third one?
Third one is offering loans for victims in a reasonable way. Maybe the best solution for a victim will be making them to recoup their deposit, but it's a little bit hard to do it. So government and city try to offer loans for victims with interest-free and low interest. For example, if you use government loan service, so for 전세, so-called 버팀목 전세 자금 대출.
네.
Its annual interest rate is 1.2% to 2.1%.
Really low.
Yeah. Furthermore, this is important. Busan City will assist interest costs for up to 2 years of this service.
Wow.
So you can diminish your burden for interest costs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem is, it's so complicated. So I recommend to listeners or victims, you should please check in detail or get counseling service at a support center.
Yeah. 1.2 to 2.1%.
Low.
That is unheard of.
Baby got
right?
low.
Yes. Very low, much lower than private banks.
Yeah.
No matter how good your credit is, you can't see numbers like that, right? And also the city supporting your interest costs for almost up to 2 years. That is very nice.
Very nice. And it's not, it's not a final solution for this kind of issue.
네.
But I don't think there is a final solution for this kind of issue.
맞아요.
I think what we need to do is, first of all, get these perpetrators of these crimes, out there in the open as much as possible. And education for house buying, because that's not something we do at school, right?
Yeah.
We never learn about things that we need to know when we're at school. For example, I've never used algebra, ever, but I would have liked to known about the interest on a mortgage and how to pay back a mortgage and how a mortgage is calculated. So that kind of stuff would be really wonderful moving forward to be able to implement that. Loans are a great way to start, but then,
Don't dog on algebra, though.
have you used it?
I use it when I cut cake.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I try to.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't.
No, you
All
don't.
right.
You just look at the never mind.
Anyway, so support, right? For the victims, we mentioned these 3 policies that the city does provide and promote. You mentioned there's 4 in total.
Yeah. The last one is about the special bill to support victims. The National Assembly passed a special bill aimed at assisting victims last month and took effect from June 1st. This one is very important but so complicated, thus I will explain briefly in Korean as well.
네.
Key of this bill is firstly, if you already have home rental loans, then government will allow you to pay back your loans over up to 20 years interest-free.
Wow.
In Korean, 기존에 전세 대출을 하신 게 있다면 미상환금에 대해 최장 20년 무이자 분할 상환이 가능합니다.
Okay.
And secondly, if your house is auctioned off, then you will acquire a priority to buy your house than others. However, if you can't afford it, then you can give your rights to government, and government can buy it instead. Then rent it to you in a low rate, just 30 to 50% of market value, and you can live here up to 20 years.
Wow.
So in Korean, 이제 경매를 할 때 이제 내가 먼저 살 수 있는 권리, 우선
네.
매수권을 피해자에게 부여하고 만약에 이제 피해자분이 살 수 없을 때는 정부가 대신해서 사주고 이제 정부가 저렴하게 임대해 줌으로써 피해자가 20년 동안 거기서 사실 수가 있습니다. And lastly,
네.
Government will provide interest-free loans to victims for up to 10 years for the portion of the deposits they made. These loans will cover the amount that tenants are entitled to before other priority creditors when the properties are put up for auction or public sale. In Korean, 이제 최우선 변제금, 이제 다른 사람보다 내가 이제 우선해서 가지고 있는 금액인데요. 이게 경매나 공매로 넘어갔을 때
네.
내가 우선적으로 주장할 수 있는 이 최우선 변제금 이 부분에 대해서는 최장 10년간 무이자 대출이 가능합니다. Yeah, but this law contains so many contents.
Yeah.
So complicated. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to understand exactly. So I'd like to ask listeners to get counseling service at support center.
Right. The one that you mentioned, located on first floor of Busan Metropolitan
Yeah.
Corporation. But to know that all this type of help is available, right, to people that are victims
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
kind of scam, 좀 이렇게 희망이 있을 것 같아요.
맞아요.
Right?
Help is out there because I'm sure, I mean, obviously, touch wood, never been in that situation and can't even imagine how just devastating it is.
맞아요.
But I'm sure it feels hopeless when you're in that kind of situation.
그쵸.
So you have support out there. If you are a victim of one of these terrible crimes, you have support and there's a system in place to be able to help you.
Yeah. And with, even like if you are a victim of a 전세 scam, everybody's situation, it's like totally different,
Yeah.
right? So as HK mentioned, getting that counseling service, and then from there, maybe you could find the best solution for each
Yeah.
and everybody's situation, right?
Yeah, this 전세 scam is so severe social problem. So I know this is still not the perfect solution for a victim because their damage or their pain is so huge.
네.
But I hope me and city and government will hope these policies can alleviate your damage and relieve your pain about this issue.
맞아요. 너무 좋습니다. 부산시에서 이런 서비스랑 도움을 제공해 주니까요. We have Thursday 1759님 on our YouTube saying 공무원에 대한 편견이 깨어집니다. I think, people thinking, maybe the city isn't doing enough. No, but the city is doing so much,
Yeah.
right? That now people know of these types of services that are provided to victims. 그래서 이런 도움도 있구나라고 사람들이 많이 알게 되는 것 같아요, right? For the victims. Great to know. Great to know.
맞아요.
네.
Always nice.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to see you in the studio, HK. You're looking very smart today.
오늘 퇴근하고 바로 여기 오신 거예요?
Yeah, that's right.
그렇구나.
So that's the reason why I wear a full suit
네.
with tie.
네.
And I really like it.
근데 그 Insider X의 그 테마를 너무 딱 맞는 것 같아요.
You'll
right?
have to wear sunglasses next time.
I'll try.
Sunglasses and come in with a martini in hand. right?
Dong 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 dong
맞아요.
dong dong.
Well, HK님, thank you so much for all the great information. Thank you and have a great week. We'll see you back here next Thursday, okay?
Yeah, I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
See you later. Bye
감사합니다.
bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, look at that. JB님 texting in. 와, 저렇게 잘생긴 공무원이.
역시
그렇습니다.
부산
그렇어요.
공무원 이 정도입니다, 여러분.
그렇죠.
네.
맞습니다. 그래서 부산으로 일하러 오세요. All right, it's time for us to say goodbye for the first half of the show. We will be back with you at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, this is Daft Punk. Give life back to music. See you soon.
지그재그로 움직인대.
누가?
척추라인에 맞춰서 움직인대.
누가?
누구긴 누가 엔모션 프로지. 척추를 지그재그로 틀어 꾹꾹 눌러주는 움직임. 누가의 시그니처 모션. 누가 베스트 엔모션 프로. 가까운 누가페에서 만나요. 의료기기 광고입니다.
Transforming our world. Navigating toward a better future. The great transformation begins right here in Busan through the 2030 Busan World Expo. Busan will set a new course toward a better tomorrow for the Earth and for humanity. So we need your support to start a new movement.
I support.
지지합니다.
I support. I support.
지지합니다.
I support. I support.
Busan, the city where you can experience nature, technology, and people. The one and only 2030 Busan World Expo awaits you.
See you right here in Busan.
See you right here in Busan. This campaign is brought to you by BFM 부산영어방송.
SNS 매너 권법을 익혀라. 조상권. 타인의 얼굴을 보호하는 스티커 매너 저작권. 합법적인 음원 체크. 이것이 SNS 고수의 매너 권법. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인사이드 아웃 부산.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the second half of Inside Out Busan. It is 7 o'clock. I'm Laura McCluskey.
And I'm Minsu Shin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Second hour of our show. We got a bunch of messages coming in.
Yeah,
Right?
so many messages. Everybody's chatting it up. Well, everywhere, really.
Yeah, a lot of people commenting on just how 멋있어 부산 공무원들 are. Specifically HK님, right, that has come in. 와, 저렇게 잘생긴 공무원이 처음 봅니다라고 하네요, JB님이. We also have Willie Carmon이 commenting on that. 맞아요, 요새 공무원은 인물 보고 뽑아요. So these days they pick civil servants according to how they look.
Also because they're qualified for the positions that they're in.
yeah, well that too.
I mean, it's not a catwalk.
근데 우리 HK님 바로 세그멘트 끝나자마자 나가서 감사합니다라고 우리
맞아요.
유튜브에 바로 달았어요.
He went into YouTube. He's like, 감사합니다.
Look at that. Also polite.
Well, everyone's connected.
Right, too. Well, thank you so much, folks. Yeah, second hour of our show. We do want to kick things off with On the Mic.
Yes, we do. This is the segment where our reporters head out into the wild of Busan and they interview you, our listeners. So let's see who's on the mic today.
안녕하세요, 올리비아입니다. 오늘은 염토르님을 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 선생님 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 염정민 강사입니다.
왜 이렇게 에너지가 넘치실까요?
단전에서 끌어올려서 수업 때만 조금 에너지를 많이 발산하는 편이에요. 저는 MBTI I 92% 나옵니다.
자본주의에 입각한
살짝 자본주의에 약간 맞아요. 근데 정말 텐션이 낮은데 폴댄스를 만나면서 성격도 좀 더 활발해진 것도 있어요.
근데 왜 염토르예요?
대학 시절 때부터 이제 친구들 사이에서 힘이 좀 센 걸로 유명해가지고 이제 여기 계시던 원장님도 저랑 딱 강사랑 회원일 때 만났었거든요. 근데 제 회원일 때도 제가 이미 좀 힘이 좋다 보니까 힘 되게 좋으시다 하다가 그 원장님이랑 제가 같이 일을 하게 됐어요. 그러다가 제가 이제 대학 시절 얘기도 하면서 저 별명 뭐 토르 이런 것도 있었고요 하면서 하니까 염토르쌤 하면 되겠다 이렇게 별명을 붙여주셨었어요. 그래서 회원분들도 이제 뭐 염토르 뭐예요 이러면서 얘기해 주시면 저희 키미스에서 그렇게 말씀드려요 이렇게 하면서 합니다.
선생님은 어떻게 폴댄스를 처음부터 시작을 하게 됐어요?
원래는 저도 이제 운동을 한 번도 안 해보다가 너무 오래 병원에서 좀 한 5년 정도 근무를 했었거든요. 원무과 일을 하다가 너무 앉아만 있고 좀 움직여보는 운동을 해보고 싶은데 헬스라든지 필라테스를 체험을 해보니까 그거는 크게 이제 흥미가 안 땡기는 거예요. 근데 폴댄스도 체험이 있길래 한번 와봤었는데 얘는 생각보다 아프고 너무 고통스럽지만은 재미가 있는 거예요. 그래가지고 한번 해보자 해서 왔었어요. 살짝 솔직한 마음에서는 내가 혹시나 이거 잘 되면 강사도 한번 해볼 수 있지 않을까라는 생각도 가지고서 왔었어요. 병원 근무하면서 되게 스트레스를 좀 많이 받았었어가지고 좀 직장도 바꿔볼까 새로운 직업도 한번 생각을 해볼까 하고 있는 와중에 약간 폴댄스라는 운동도 만났었고 재미가 있다 보니까 요거 재밌으면 혹시 요걸로 뭐 프리랜서라든지 강사도 해볼 수 있지 않을까라고 생각했던 와중에 점점 진짜 재밌어져가지고 강사 준비도 하고 지금 강사가 된 거예요. 폴은 한지는 한 3년 정도 됐고요. 강사 한지 한 2년 정도 됐어요.
포스나 이런 건 거의 10년 넘은 사람 같아서
저는 폴 한지는 그렇게 막 오래되진 않았습니다.
근데 어떻게 그렇게 잘해요?
저는 남들보다 잘하고 싶다고 생각한 것도 있어가지고 아예 저희 학원에서 좀 빠르게 실력을 올려주는 반도 있거든요. 그래서 빠르게 좀 등록을 해가지고 했었어요.
선택과 집중을 하셨나요?
그죠 맞아요. 오랫동안.
뭐가 좋을까요? 폴댄스의 최대 매력과 장점?
매력? 우선은 진짜 회원분들이 되게들 다 얘기하시는데 성취감이 정말 높은 운동. 처음 딱 했을 때는 와 이거 진짜 안 되겠다 하다가도 진짜 단 몇 개월 지나시잖아요. 한 2, 3개월 지났을 때 본인이 하는 거 딱 보면 나 되네? 그러다가 한 6개월 지난다?
선생님 저 이거 했어요. 되는 게 이게 점점점 느는 게 본인 모습이 보이거든요. 회원분들도 진짜 성취감도 많이 느끼고 자존감도 많이 올라갔다고 많이 말씀을 해주세요. 저도 폴댄스를 만나고 성격도 되게 많이 활발해진 편이어가지고 폴댄스는 정말 흥미롭고 재밌는 운동이구나 많이 느끼는 편이에요.
폴이랑 제가 대화를 좀 나눠봤거든요. 근데 얘가 너무 차가워요.
조금 살짝 친해지기 어렵긴 한데 이 사람들마다 친해지는 단계가 조금 오래 걸리는 분도 계시고요. 짧게 걸리는 분도 계세요. 그래서 원체 몸을 좀 쓰셨던 분들은 조금 더 정말 좀 잘 되는구나 해서 재밌어지는 거고요. 나는 운동을 좀 많이 안 해봤는데 하면 조금 친해지기 어려울 수도 있긴 해요. 하지만 5회차 때 다르고 10회차 때 다르기 때문에 하다 보면 저는 점점 재밌어지는 것 같아요. 저도 그랬어요.
댄스와 폴댄스의 최대 차이가
그래서 마냥 춤을 추는 운동은 아니기 때문에 댄스라기보다는 폴 스포츠로 보시면 될 것 같아요. 폴 자체는 정말 그 폴을 가지고 뭔가 몸을 끌어당기면서 근력도 좀 이용을 많이 하는 운동이기 때문에 저는 유산소랑 무산소까지 같이 병행이 되는 약간 밸런스가 좀 맞게 운동이 될 수 있는 게 그게 좀 차이인 것 같아요.
선생님 일하시면서 가장 뿌듯하고 기분 좋았을 때는 언제예요?
저는 진짜 제가 강사가 돼서 그런 건지 모르겠지만 회원분들한테 이렇게 알려드렸을 때 회원분들이 안 됐던 동작이 성공했어요 했을 때 굉장히 뿌듯함을 느끼죠. 제가 잘 알려드린 것 같아서. 맨 처음 오시는 분들이랑 막 3개월 지내서도 저랑 계속 같이 보잖아요. 그러면 폴리니 시절 때부터 성장하는 걸 제가 다 보고 있기 때문에 그때도 좀 뿌듯함을 많이 느끼는 편이에요.
역시 마지막으로 저희 BEFM 부산 영어방송 청취자분들에게 하고 싶은 이야기 있으면
저희 폴댄스가 굉장히 젊은 여성분들만 하실 수 있다고 되게 40, 50대 분들이 되게 어려워하시는데 충분히 가능하시니까 오셔가지고 체험이라도 한번 해보시고 즐겁게 한번 이런 운동도 있구나 경험 한번 해보시면 너무 좋을 것 같아요. 그러다 보면 폴댄스 정말 누구나 할 수 있다라고 많이 느끼실 수 있거든요. 언제든지 한번 오셔가지고 재밌게 운동 한번 해보셨으면 좋겠습니다.
저희 근데 혹시 선생님 좋아하는 영어 단어가 있어요? 폴댄스 빼고.
프리티요.
본인?
저요. 네. 저 프리티하게 살고 싶기 때문에 네네네 프리티를 가장 좋아합니다. 네네네. 파이팅!
Everybody.
파이팅! 아이고 감사합니다.
폴댄스.
네, our reporter Olivia speaking with Miss Yum Jung-min, who is a pole dance instructor.
So cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried pole dancing?
I have not.
너무 힘들어요.
근데 진짜 어려워 보여요.
진짜 재밌어요.
Right?
But so 힘들어.
And I've heard, right, many a times. But like, just pole dancing in general, it was in the beginning, I think Korea was a bit tough for people to like be accepting of like pole dancing, right? Because of like I guess like the meaning that it had. But these days, no, it's such a sought after form of exercise.
It's exercise. It's
for
wonder.
everybody, not just women, right? A lot of guys are into it too. So our interviewee, Miss Jung-min, she is a second-year instructor, and before that, she worked at a hospital administration department.
Yeah, and she wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Because she had a pretty sedentary job. And
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to do pole dancing. And loved it.
Yeah. But she said, she had this little, you could tell she had a lot of energy, like a lot of spunk in her, right?
Yeah.
But this didn't come about until she started. To do, learning pole dancing and instructing it. Because it's something that obviously you have to be a bit of energetic, not only towards, your students, but also
써야 돼.
힘이 있어야지 힘을 쓸 수 있잖아요, right? With pole dancing, right?
Yeah.
And she has a lot of that.
Good.
Right? She mentioned a lot of good that comes from pole dancing. She mentioned with consistent practice, self-esteem.
Yeah.
You get this boost of confidence, right? When you're doing this. This is something that she finds a lot of joy in, not only doing, but also teaching. And she mentioned a lot of people, not just young people, but those even in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Right?
It's definitely something I would say go and try it. But don't be surprised when you are burned, when you're bashed, when you're exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is like, it's not just spinning around a pole.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, even if you are the most graceful thing in the world, when you get up a pole and you have to do a little spin,
Yeah.
you are not graceful.
Yeah. I've seen the hands of people that do pole dancing, and they've done it for quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, 굳은 살 그렇게 많아요. Because you
맞아요.
are constantly
gotta grab
clinging
the pole.
on to that thing. And you have to use so much strength.
Thigh burns.
Oh my goodness.
Thigh burns are no joke.
They say baby powder is a must-have, must-use.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Because then you can't stick to the pole. You got to stick to the pole.
Well, that's it. But like, you know, when you like with well, not specific on your hands, yeah, because you slip.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like on the bottom part of your knees, what do you call that?
The back of your knees.
The back of your knees, I guess. Or like, because when you do, although you do have to hold on to the pole, you do need some kind of less friction to be able to spin around.
So you want to put baby powder on and then just like climb up the pole and slip to your doom?
So once again, not on your hands, but
Right.
more like on your like leg area.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we should get a pole in here and let's test it out. I'll do no baby powder. Minzy, you do baby powder. We'll see who slips down the pole first.
I mean, I feel like I could hang on there.
Yeah.
For quite a bit. Once again,
let's
no
try
baby
it.
powder on
Let's
my
go
hands,
out
right?
and try it.
But anyways, yeah, this is something that everybody can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so young or old, it doesn't matter. So hopefully our On the Mic was a bit encouraging.
Get up a pole.
Yeah.
Get up a pole now. Do it. You'll love it.
If it's safe though, all right, do it in a controlled area.
Yeah, not just any pole, like an actual pole that's built for this the thing.
맞아요. 이거 감사합니다 to our porter Olivia and to Miss Yum Jang-min. That was
맞아요.
today's
On the mic.
Mhm.
My friend, just aside,
네.
my friend got a new yacht and he
Did he install a pole?
there's a pole in the middle of it, right?
Oh,
And so I went
okay.
to the yacht, and we do. You know how I run the yoga yacht event, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, "오빠, 와 요트 너무 좋다." So it's an 2층 요트, and so I went up the top, and there's like a pole in the middle, and it's a silver pole, and it looks like a pole dancing pole, and I was like. 이 폴댄스도 할 수 있어? He's like, 안 돼, 약해.
Okay, what was it for?
It's a support beam
Oh my
to make sure
gosh.
the roof of the 2층 doesn't fall down.
Oh my gosh.
I was almost spinning round it. He's like, 안 돼!
What could have been, right, in his brand new 2-story yacht?
Could have ripped off the
It could have turned into a 1-story yacht.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, just 2-story without a roof. You know?
아이고 재밌다.
Would have been bad, whatever.
아주 다행입니다.
Yeah,
네.
that's why I didn't. So just not any pole is a pole for dancing round. That's the moral of this story.
PSA.
Be
All
careful.
right. Let's take a quick song break.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is James Brown. I feel good.
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good, so good. I got you. Wow, I feel nice. A sugar and spice. I feel nice. A sugar and spice. So nice, so nice. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love won't do you no harm. And I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, so nice. I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know that I can't do no wrong. And when I hold you in my arms, my love can't do me no harm. And I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. So nice, so nice that I got you. Wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I would. So good, so good. But I got you. So good, so good. But I got you. So good, so good. But I got you.
love a bit of James Brown.
Ow!
I like listening to that full blast. We can't listen to it full blast in the studio because we got headphones on. But, you know, outside.
What movie am I thinking about? Like a particular somebody is like dancing like at home to this song? Was it Home Alone?
No, it's not Home Alone. Is it Mrs. Doubtfire?
맞아.
Maybe Mrs. Doubtfire.
When she's in full disguise
Yeah.
and cleaning the house, right?
Uh-huh.
맞아요.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Good memory. Nice.
Anyway, welcome back to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Inside Out Busan. We are 15 minutes past 7. We're 15 minutes into the second half of the show. I'm Laura McClucky.
And I'm Minsu Shin. 우리 JB님이요. 노래가 막 폴댄스 구경하고 기분 좋아서 부른 노래 같아요. So I guess fitting with the pole dancing on the mic that we had today, right? So
You imagine James Brown on a pole?
singing at the same time while twirling?
Yeah.
Actually, I think you can do it.
I'd like it.
Right.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay tickets for that. Let's look at the weather, shall we? Okay, the mercury level currently averaging 23 degrees Celsius. Morning lows tomorrow morning of 20. Afternoon highs of 28. Mostly sunny and getting hot due to rising temperatures in the daytime. Air quality will be decent nationwide. However, the ozone level is going to rise during the day. 내일 낮부터 기온이 오르면서 덥겠습니다. 오존 지수도 높겠습니다.
네.
그래서 조심하시오.
감사합니다. 조심하시오. When it comes to our traffic, we have congestion over on 대교로 from 부산대교 going towards 봉래 Junction. Also congestion on 관문대로 from 삼락 Interchange going towards the 백양 Tunnel. We also have slow-moving traffic on 수용로 from 대남 Junction going towards the KBS three-way intersection. Everybody,
drive safe.
네. 그리고 우리 1191님한테 메시지가 왔는데요. 제가 못 읽었네요. Because we were talking about procrastination in the first hour, right? How everybody does it, but it's not good for your time, money, or your health.
I feel like that's a description for many things. Everybody does it, but it's not good for your time, money, or health.
Right. 그래서 1192님, shall I?
Yes.
저는 전부 다 미루는 것 같아요. 제 방바닥이 엉망입니다. 조카가 6살 때 제 방에 들어와서 한 말 이렇게 더럽구나 했어요. 애들은 거짓말을 못 하잖아요.
청소하세요. 청소하세요, 지금.
아이고 6살 조카가 와서 아이고
이렇게 덥구나.
이렇게 더럽구나.
더럽구나. If a kid is saying 이렇게 더럽구나
네.
about your floor,
네.
it must be dirty because kids don't care.
맞아요. And kids are straight up. Like
Yeah.
they're honest. They'll let
Yeah.
you know, right?
그러면 청소 좀.
그래서 1192님, I think this is the sign. This is the sign that you were looking
청소해야지.
for. 아마 기다리고 있을 거야. I need just that one little push from somebody
맞다.
for me to clean my room. There you go.
This is it. And if that's not enough, let me do it for you. 청소해야지. 빨리.
왜냐면 위험해요. 바닥에 너무 많으면, right? If you're like in the middle of the night and you gotta like get out of bed real quick, if you step on something, it could turn for the worse.
Also 벌레.
벌레. 그것도 생각 못했네.
Listen, I don't
I'm
mind
sure
벌레.
그
I
정-
like living with 벌레. But
I'm sure it's
I
not
just don't
food. I'm sure it's not food, but still. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be clean.
JB님 says 용돈 주고 청소하는 방법을 가르쳐 주시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
용돈 주고 6살 조카한테 청소하는 방법을 가르쳐주면. 그래도 근데 한 번은 해야 되잖아요, 같이. 청소는 이렇게 해야 돼라고 보여줘야 되잖아요. So 우리 1192님 has to 청소 anyway.
See, I like this. This is my solution to everything. Throw money at the problem. I don't want to do this. Throw money at it. I don't want to make this money. I don't want to. Yeah.
I mean, it
The
solves a
problem
lot
is,
of stuff.
Well, I don't have enough money for all the things that I don't want to do.
그래 말이에요.
You know?
And the cycle continues.
And the cycle continues. Yes,
맞아요.
indeed.
아이고 감사합니다.
Anywho.
네.
All right. It is a Thursday. What does that mean?
It means it is time for, I guess, the segment where we get to kind of dive into our hearts and our minds with 오정아의 마음 톡톡.
Yes, that's right. Every Thursday, 오정아 원장님 comes into the studio and makes us all feel relaxed. 원장님 안녕하세요.
Hi everyone, this is Ojong from Chicago Therapeutic Center, Chicago 심신치 Center. I'm happy to be back for this segment.
아이고 원장님, thank you so much for joining us once again. 우리 노래 비지부터 그냥 뭐가 좀 마음이 막
I feel
편해지는
like I'm in France.
느낌이에요.
That's
a
a
little
good
bit
choice of
having a croissant.
Having a what?
A croissant.
You're such a stereotype.
아니에요. That's how they pronounce
Is
it,
it? Okay.
right? Yeah. So, 원장님, what are we focusing on today?
So this is a work environment issue to share. Let's learn more about this with today's story.
네. I've been working on a small team for several years, and we have always had a good relationship. However, recently one of my colleagues, let's call him Mike, has been acting inappropriately towards me. He constantly makes insulting comments about my work, undermines my ideas in meetings, and even goes as far as to taking credit for my contributions. It has created a hostile work environment, and I find myself feeling demoralized and anxious. I'm at a loss for what to do next. How can I effectively deal with this situation without endangering my job or my mental health? Mike causing
good,
problems. 네.
원장님, can I ask you to like scoot your chair a little bit closer to me so we can see? Yeah, there we
okay.
go. All of our viewers can see your full face now. There we go. There she is. 원장님.
All right. So let's refer to this writer as Susan. I'm sorry, Susan, to hear that you are going through such a challenging situation at work with your colleague, Mike. It can be incredibly difficult and distressing when someone acts inappropriately towards you, especially within a positive, like previously positive work relationship. So, Laura, let me ask you this. So, if you were Susan, would you tolerate Mike or confront him? What would you do?
That's a difficult question. So I am, by and large, someone who doesn't skirt around issues. So if there's an issue, I'll probably just get it out there. Or
Confrontational.
I'm quite confrontational. I don't need to be like aggressively confrontational, but if there's an issue, I'll say, I think there's an issue. Is there something going on? Can we have a chat about it? So I would say that. But the way that Susan is talking about how Mike is acting, I feel like Mike is going through something and he's taking it out on Susan. So I think he's got issues going on. But what I would do, depending on my relationship with Mike, I would be like, hold on a second, who are you talking to? The Glaswegian would come out. And I would be probably not accepting of that. On the inside, I would probably be like, oh my God, what have I done? Have I done something wrong? Am I in the wrong? Am I doing bad work? But I would still be like, yo, you don't talk to me like that. Come on.
This is my opinion, but I feel like that's a more healthy way to do it. 왜냐면 저는 좀 반대일 것 같아요.
Really?
With Laura. 네. For me, I think I kind of like, all right, this is my life now.
참아?
참는데 I would avoid Mike. 저는 마이크를 조금 이제 같은 팀이면 진짜 할 수 없는데 좀 이렇게 겹치는 부분을 최대한 피할 것 같아요. With Mike. Right?
Really?
Because I don't know, maybe it's just my personality to not confront, I guess. 왜냐면 my thought is if I confront, that's just going to ruin the whole mood of the team.
Yeah.
네.
Honey, it's going to get things open. And the thing is, Mike is probably going through some really painful stuff to be acting like. Think about it. Happy people don't do that to other people.
그렇죠. 그럼 원장님 저희가 마이크 입장까지 그렇게 생각해줘야 될까요?
So we're gonna talk about it about the mic.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have the refractive question.
Okay,
so
yeah.
they'll be there. So I see. So in a survey conducted among 1,000 employees this year, 20% of the respondents reported experiencing workplace harassment. among those who experience harassment, 70% said that they simply choose to tolerate it.
Wow.
Yeah.
저처럼. 맞아요. 제가
Is that
이게
a-
70% 안에 들어가요.
Is that a cultural thing or is that
It might. So I think the percentage of the choosing not to speak up is higher for older generations.
그래서 that's because you're so old.
네,
나는
아저씨라서 그런가?
젊어서, 아니면 어려서.
원장님, I'm sure there's more reasons. Please continue. I want to hear more.
So it's socially expected to endure it for a long time and not bring it up.
Socially.
So
Right.
it does vary from older generation to generation MZ.
So
makes
MZers
sense, though.
could be like me,
Yeah.
right? They
Well,
could
we
be
are MZ.
non-confrontational. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. So probably Susan has tried to speak to Mike regarding the situation, but it seems to me that Susan might keeping these emotions inside of her somehow. So in psychology, the term emotional resolve, 감정적 보류, 감정을 바로 표출하지 않거나 그것을 감추는 것을 얘기합니다. Refers to the tendency of the person to keep their emotions to themselves and not express them openly or immediately. So it means that someone is more private about their emotions, doesn't show them to others as easily. It's like having a hidden treasure chest of the emotions that they keep locked away.
So keeping your emotions and not letting it out.
Right.
그냥 담아두는 게 emotional reserve.
It's like
Yes.
a reservoir of
Kind of
emotions in your body.
맞아요.
Right. So emotional resolve can be influenced by different factors such as personal preferences and cultural background or past experiences. So some people feel more comfortable keeping their emotions to themselves while others are more open about how they feel.
Sure.
Right. So now, before we talk about how Susan can handle this situation better, it might be beneficial to ask yourself reflective questions to understand your emotions on a deeper level and the challenges that you're facing at work.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we think about it, what would be some of the questions for Susan to think about? And listeners, you can follow along and you can ask yourself these questions. But if you find yourself in this kind of situation, how can we begin to reflect? How can we begin to, dive into those emotions? What can we do? What can we ask ourselves?
Sure. So first, is Mike going through a difficult time in his personal life right now? So as Laura said, so 마이크가 현재 개인적인 삶에서 힘든 점이 있으면 좀 예민하게 다른 사람한테 를 대할 수 있기 때문에 그런 것들을 체크해 보는 것도 중요하겠습니다.
Yeah. And that would be really important for the relationship. Like, because Mike is probably acting up and being mean for some reason, maybe.
Right.
There's always a reason. It's not an excuse,
Sure.
but always a reason. So if Susan then says, hey, Mike, listen, you've been kind of mean to me recently. Is everything okay? Mike might feel really like, oh, I can talk to Susan.
왜냐면 원래 이 정도 아니었는데 예를 들어서 이렇게 시간이 조금 지나가면서 이렇게 마이크가 이렇게 변했으면 이렇게 생각을 할 수 있겠네요. Right? Like there might be a different situation with Mike.
Right.
Okay, so that's something you could ask yourself if you were Susan. What are other questions?
Yeah. Second, is there any stress I have aside from work which impacts my work performance? So 수잔이 현재 개인적인 삶에서 받는 스트레스가 자신의 일에 어떤 영향을 주고 있는지 스스로 생각해 보는 것이 좋을 것 같습니다. Third, how have I handled similar challenges in the past and what strategies worked well for me? So 이전에 뭐 다른 회사일 수도 있는 거고요.
네.
그런 곳에서 비슷한 상황에 있었을 때 그 상황을 수잔이 어떻게 대처하려고 했었는지에 대해서 스스로 생각해 보는 것도 좋을 것 같고요.
네.
Yeah.
네. Fourth, is there anything I can do to improve the situation or addressing these challenges in facing? Any other resources or support systems available to me? 그래서 이 상황을 개선하기 위해서 어떤 도움을 주위에서 받을 수 있는지를 또 생각해 보는 해보는 것도 중요합니다. So by reflecting on these questions, you can gain a deeper understanding of your feelings and circumstances.
I think it's really important. Actually, we've got someone chiming in. 인유의 충전소님 texting in saying it is Mike's problem though. 하하.
저는 사실 우리 인류의 충전소님의 생각이 먼저 떠올랐어요. When you said let's think what kind of situation like Mike is in.
Yeah.
But I was like, but his behavior is affecting me. But
맞아요.
I'm not, 제가 저 때문에 마이크 행동이 it's not because of me. Mike is acting like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
His behavior is his problem, and I agree with that. But I think when we can, especially like question number 1, is he going through a difficult time in his personal life? And then like question number 2, 3, and 4, is there any stress I have aside from work which impacts my performance,
네.
etc.? What it can help you do is reflect on the situation you're in. It can help you kind of move away from any immediate sadness or pain or stress or anxiety about
네.
your performance. And also it can stop it from feeling so personal because then you realize, this is Mike's problem. It's not my fault that he's acting this way to me. And especially, but I mean, maybe Susan is like being mean without realizing it. And so by asking herself these questions, she can uncover that. So maybe she's also changed behavior. But I mean, it sounds like something's going on with Mike. And so, reflecting like this, it can help you realize it's not my fault. It's not personal. And that's a really powerful mantra. It's not personal.
맞아요.
It's not personal. It's not personal.
좋습니다.
Right.
그럼 원장님, these questions, very important and valuable questions to ask, in Susan's situation or maybe even yourself.
Right.
Any other things that you would suggest?
Right. So I'd like to suggest some things that Susan or any of our listeners can do in a similar situation. So sometimes you freeze up and cannot speak up when someone says unpleasant things to you. You should practice how to respond to the person by looking into a mirror or video recording yourself. Like, for example, I understand that you might be feeling upset or frustrated about my work, but it's important for us to approach this situation with respect. 그래서 당신이 제 일에 대해서 실망을 하거나 기분이 안 좋을 수 있지만 우리가 서로 존중하는 입장에서 대화를 했으면 좋겠습니다. 이렇게 얘기를 해보시는 것도 좋고요.
네.
Do you think it's appropriate to say this to me? 이렇게 저한테 지금 말씀하시는 게 적절하다고 생각하세요? 이런 질문을 되물을 수도 있겠죠. So be aware of yourself as you talk calmly and firmly.
롤
So-
지금 상상하고 있겠죠?
I'm just laughing because this is the way that I speak to my son. So but in my head, what I want to say is, who you talking to? But obviously, my goal is to, first of all, just remain calm and to just have a good conversation with a positive outcome for everybody. And so my tone of voice and my words are so important, even if my son is acting out, or even if like it's an employee or a coworker or a family member, even if they are acting out, it's important that we take the higher road, even though we probably want to not take the higher road.
Yeah.
I want to be like, who are you talking to, Mike?
맞아요.
Who are you anyway? Like, that's what I feel on the inside. But I wouldn't ever say that out loud.
Yeah. But 그리고 원장님, like what you just mentioned, even practicing in front of a mirror,
Yeah.
right, and recording yourself. 이것도 저 같은 I said earlier that I would avoid Mike, right? Because I find it hard to bring stuff like this up. 말하기 좀 어렵거든요, 저는.
But I've got like a question though.
네.
If you did say this, if you were like Susan, and then you did approach it, and then you said, "Hey, Mike, I respect you.
네.
Let's respect each other.
네.
But this is frustrating." Blah blah. blah.
네.
And you were super kind, and you did what your advice is. But then Mike continued to be mean.
네.
What would you do?
그럼 더 피할 것 같아요. 그런데
네.
원장님이 방금 말했던 doing this in front of a mirror, would this give me confidence? 자신감을 좀 키우는 이런 연습인가요?
이게 어떤 거냐면 이제 자기 얼굴을 봄으로써
네.
자기의 facial expression을 볼 수가 있어요. 자기가 자신을.
네.
그러면서 내가 너무 이렇게 nervous하고 있구나. 뭐 아니면은 내가 조금 뭐 부자연스럽구나. 이런 거를 조금 체크를 해볼 수 있으니까. 근데 그것도 연습이에요. 계속 emotional resolve를 항상 하는 사람들은
네.
이게 잘 안 돼요. 그러니까 안 되기 때문에 안 하게 되고 안 하니까 더 못 하게 되는
저예요.
거예요. 네.
It's me.
네.
Right?
I'll practice with you. I'll teach you the Scottish way to deal with situations.
Then it wouldn't be serious because I would have this big smile on my face. Right?
No, not when we're dealing with Mike.
So it's good to practice,
네,
according
네.
to our 원장님. Then let's say Susan tried this. 근데 마이크는 계속 똑같아요. What should Susan do next?
Right. So when you're still dealing with a bad behavior or undermining at work, it's important to keep a record of such instance. So that means writing down the specific times, dates, and details of each instance involving the colleague like Mike. By doing this, you create a clear record that shows exactly what happened. So this documentation is really helpful when you decide to talk to your supervisor or the human resources department about the issue. So it provides evidence and helps you explain the situation accurately. So just remember though, when you're documenting instance, it's crucial to be truthful and objective,
그렇죠.
not subjective. Okay, so your record can support your case and show you're taking this situation seriously.
So I think that's a really good thing because this could be considered workplace bullying, 100%. And this could be even further than like HR. This could go to, I don't know, if you're working in a school, for example, it might be taken to the labor law, the Ministry of Education. You never know. But one thing to remember when you are recording these dates and times, obviously write it down and screenshot any text messages, etc. But if you're going to record voice, remember the legal implications of recording someone without them knowing. So I think it is, don't quote me on this, I think it is legal to record someone's voice, audio record, as long as your voice also appears on the recording. But just always kind of be aware that you might get in trouble for certain kinds of recording evidence.
Right.
All right, good to keep in mind.
Yeah.
맞아요. 이것도 중요하죠. What else can Susan do?
So it's helpful to lean on your trusted colleagues for support. Reach out to those who have witnessed the bad behavior or have gone through similar experiences with the mic. So they can offer you emotional support and understanding during the difficult time. So if they are willing, they can also provide a statement that support your claims. When a group of people comes together to address the problem, their unity and support carry more weight.
Yeah, so having others who maybe have been in that situation or have experienced the same issues, and sharing that, this can help validate your concerns, and it could really give you a sense of support, right? And maybe even, who knows, give you that confidence to confront Mike.
Right. So by working together, you can strive towards creating a more respectful and positive work environment.
Yeah, which is what we all want. You know, we all want to have a positive and happy work environment.
Right.
Yeah, so getting emotional support from colleagues, incredibly helpful. So what could Susan do even if she's tried addressing the issue but hasn't found a solution that I guess sits well with her?
Right. So then she should get help from external resources, consulting with an employment attorney or reaching out to the local labor board can give you valuable guidance on the steps you can take next. These professionals specialize in employment laws and can help you understand your rights and explore your options.
Yeah, you gotta Minsu, you gotta take action. You gotta stand up for yourself.
근데 보니까 저 혼자 아니에요. We have HK님 saying, like Minsu said, I also tend to avoid saying these kinds of words. Practice is really necessary. We also have 인류의 충전소님 saying, Minsu is peacemaker. I love it.
And then Busan English Broadcasting says he is a troublemaker.
아니에요. 이거 BFM은 틀렸어요. 저 진짜
That might have been me.
네,
That was definitely me. But I think it's important when your well-being is at stake, when your mental health, your physical health, and of course your human rights
맞아요.
are at stake. You need to be able to stand up for yourself. And you have every right to stand up for yourself and not be willing to accept that kind of behavior.
Right, absolutely. Seeking support from external resources can provide you with the advice and assistance you need to get through these challenges, challenging situations.
네. So getting help from outside is something that you could really rely on
Yeah.
right, in the situation. 아이고, 감사합니다. Thank you for all these suggestions, right? I know there's a lot of people that could be in Susan's situation. Listeners out there might be facing something same at work.
Sure.
Now
So,
there's
yeah.
more answers.
So I hope today's segment is helpful for listeners.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, 원장님. We learned a lot, and we look forward to more from you
Sure.
in next week's
I'll
Mom
be-
Talk Talk.
Yeah, sure. I'll be here next Thursday.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you,
수고하셨습니다.
원장님.
Thank you.
고맙습니다.
All right.
All right, let's have a song. This is 나라 by 이승열.
것이 무너져 있고 빨리 딜고 하나 보이질 않아 까맣게 들이온 공기가 널 덮어 눈을 뜰 수조차 없게 한데도 거기서 멈춰 있지만 그곳은 네 자리가 아냐 그대로 일어나 멀리 날아갈 길은 얼마나 오래 지날지 시간은 알 수 없지만 견딜 수 있어 날개를 펴고 날아 결국 멀리 떠나버렸고 서로 숨어 모두 보이지 않아 차갑게 내뱉는 한숨이 널 덮어 숨을 쉴 수조차 없게 한데도 거기서 멈춰 있지만 그곳은 네 자리가 아냐 그대로 일어나 멀리 날아갈 길은 얼마나 오래 지날지 시간은 알 수 없지만 견딜 수 있어 날개를 펴고 날아 주위선 날개를 펴고 날아
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 Inside Out 부산의 품격 있는 Writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 엑스 더 스카이 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
Everybody, 7:46 on the clock. Inside Out Busan, it is Thursday, the 15th of June. Can you believe that?
No.
Well, it is. So believe it.
Oh my gosh.
It happens every year.
I mean, I like the week's going fast.
Yeah.
And the show's already coming to a close soon. But 벌써?
벌써? It's almost July.
그래 말이에요.
It's not a July. It's the truth.
정신 차리자 민수야. 정신 차리자. 네.
Anyway, it's I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Minsu Shin.
Yeah, by the way. Time for quote and unquote. Wait, quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
Okay.
Quote unquote.
So this is where we bring you some inspirational quotes, but sometimes just strange quotes, exciting quotes, quotes to make you rage, quotes to make you motivated.
Yeah.
Just other things that people say that we're going to get material for our radio show out of. See what we did there? And I tell you what, I brought a clip today.
네.
And Minsu, if you've listened to this show for a while, Minsu and I do love The Office. We even have a calendar of Office trivia that we, it's a game that we play with each other every day that we're in here together. So we love The Office, the American version. And one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character, is Dwight.
Truth.
Dwight's rights. And so Dwight has got so many quotes, and I was listening to it. I thought, what quote can I bring from Dwight? And so I've got a little compilation for us to listen to, and then I will pinpoint the quote that I want to talk about.
Blink once if you want me to pull a plug.
Don't pull any plugs.
You know what? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, so I thank you.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year. Michael! Oh, that's funny. Michael!
My condolences.
Keep them.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run to the bathroom. Will you save my place?
Sure.
No, you will not.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you raised in a household with no consequences?
It'll just be a second.
Oh, if onlys and justs were candies and nuts, then every day would be earned to Donk Fest.
The eyes are the groin of the head. Did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica? No. No? Then you're an idiot.
This is the machine knows! This is the light! Stop yelling at me! No, it's stop yelling! There's no light! Here!
wonder if king-size sheets are called presidential-sized in England. I really should have a Twitter account.
Yes, you should.
That's cool. Hey, you know what's even cooler than Triceratops? Every other dinosaur that ever existed. This is do or die. If he chooses correctly, he'll conquer the hornets.
And if he doesn't?
He'll die. Why tip someone for a job I'm capable of doing myself? I can deliver food. I can drive a taxi. I can and do cut my own hair. I did, however, tip my urologist because I am unable to pulverize my own kidney stones.
Pulverize your own kidney stones.
I'm unable to pulverize my own kidney stones.
Michael!
Do you know which quote I want to look? I want to pinpoint.
Oh, please let it be. Oh,
The eyes or the groin of the head. No, it's not. Actually, it's not a Dwight quote per se. And I was thinking about the quote you brought yesterday. Was a brave man who first ate an oyster. And I was thinking about this. It's do or die. That is a very common saying.
Yeah.
It's a very common quote. It's do or die.
Yeah.
And what it means is this is the only option. But who came up with this do or die? And were they in like a is do this or die situation?
It's like this, like that's like the first time ultimatums came into place.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's do or die. It means this is the only option.
Right. Or basically like nothing, or like the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about this. And I thought, have I ever been in a situation where I used this? It's do or die. I don't think I have.
Same here. I think it's too extreme.
I've always got more than one option, more than one choice.
Yeah.
But people use it quite often. Hey, man, this is do or die. We got to, like, but I don't know.
Yeah. And folks, obviously Laura's not talking about, like chocolate or strawberry ice cream, right? Nothing too light like that. But seriously, like something where you have to, you're on like, this point in your life where this decision that you make may like change it forever. And I'm sure there are important decisions that are like that.
Yeah.
But to have a decision that you have to make and the other and obliterates like your other choice, right? Or if it's the only choice that you have to make. That's so like to even think of that situation. 너무 힘들 것 같아요.
힘들어요. But people use this expression for many situations that are not do or die, like that are not that bad.
Yeah.
They'll use it in maybe a light-hearted way. Like, for example, Tegan, one of her bucket lists is to jump off the turtle at Songdo Beach, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's still never done it. I don't know why. And so, for example, if people are going to jump off a big height and they're going to just really do something they want to do, they want to achieve, but they're really, really scared. Somebody might say, a friend might say, come on, it's do or die. And it's like, come on, let's just go for it. It's like, this is the chance. This is the only chance you have. And so maybe it's used as a motivator.
I think that's the thing. It's used as motivation. Because if you think of it, a lot of choices in life, there will come another chance. There will come another day.
You can do it or you can not do it.
Right. We talked about procrastination today. But this is a motivator to maybe help people, to take that next step, to take that leap sometimes.
The last
right?
chance.
Yeah, because, like even that word die, meaning death, I guess, maybe to some people, death is reliving the same situation, same day all over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So
it doesn't mean death.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
So you need to bring changes in your life, or basically you die to live the same way over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're going deep with this one.
A little bit. I'm surprised at myself.
I didn't think we'd get so deep with Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight writes.
I'm getting like goosebumps right now.
If onlys and buts were candies and nuts, then every day would be on a Dunkafest.
A Dunkafest. 너무 좋습니다. Yeah, so do or die. Hopefully you don't live by this quote every day of your life.
Yeah, but
I feel
sometimes.
But, there are points in your life, times in your life where, you do have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Right? It could be an important one. It could be for school, for your job. I feel like see that quote as a motivator.
Yeah.
To take it to like the next step or the next level.
Let's do this.
Do it.
Do
or die.
Do or die.
Do or die.
I love it. All right. Well, that was my quote unquote for today.
네, 감사합니다. For the motivation. as we close our show and are about to go to sleep.
Yes.
Thinking do or die.
Yes, I'm very hungry. I'm going to do something delicious for dinner.
Oh, make it a good one.
I will.
Nah.
I will. Today's show produced by Kim Yoon, written by Im Soo-jin, hosted by Laura McCluggey.
And hosted by Min Soo-shin. Our last number, Laura?
Is Shake It Out by Florence and the Machine, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'd like to keep my shoes strong. It's always darkest before the dawn, and I've been a fool and I've been blind. I can never leave the past behind. I can see no way, I can see no way. I'm always dragging that horse around. All of his questions, such a mournful song. Tonight I'm gonna bury that horse in the ground. 'Cause I like to keep my issues strong, but it's always darkest before the dawn. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, and it's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake me up. I am done with my graceless heart, so tonight I'm gonna cut it out and then restart. 'Cause I like to keep my issues strong. It's always darkest before the dawn. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Oh, and it's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake me up. And it's hard to dance with the devil on your back. But given half the chance, would I take any of it back? It's a fine romance, but it's left me so undone. It's always darkest before the dawn.
부산을 한 장의 사진에 담는다면 어디로 가야 할까요?